Kia ora and welcome to this IT training tutorial video on applying and modifying heading styles. In this document, I've modified the built-in normal style, which is applied automatically to every paragraph, and then I have purposefully applied and then modified the quote style. So I can click in any paragraph and apply that, and that will get applied to the paragraph. The headings, though, are different levels in your document. Now, some people will have to number these, and that'll get covered in another video, but the first thing we have to do is just apply them. So to do this, you either find your heading inside of the gallery, or you open up the styles pane so that you can see it there, and you'll see a list of your heading styles. Now, I've got my non-printing characters showing, by the way, which means I can see that these paragraphs have spaces built into them. I don't need any empty paragraphs to build in any space. When we work with heading styles, they don't put the space at the end. They tend to put it at the beginning or before the paragraph. So we're going to see what happens there. I'm going to click into the chapter heading, and I'll either go to the gallery or over here to the side pane and click on heading 1 to apply it. I'll do the same thing, just click inside of this line and I'll apply heading 2. Now, you only will see 2 levels when you first open a document, but as you use a level of heading, you'll see the next one appear. And this is just because there are 9 levels, but we don't really usually need to use that many. Most people writing a thesis will only use 3 or 4, possibly a few more, but mostly it's just in the 3 or 4 area. So I'll just go in here and again click and apply those different headings. Now, you might have seen me do something almost accidentally. I'm just going to set that back to normal. If you accidentally just kind of grab one letter and then apply it, that doesn't look so great. So just be aware that is a thing that can happen, but you don't have to select anything in the paragraph. You just click inside and it automatically happens to the whole paragraph. So now that I've applied these, let's have a look at what's happened. So you can see, well, my headings are kind of the wrong color. Yes, I'll probably be printing in black and white, so you wouldn't notice that, but I might want to change that anyway. Also, the font may not be the one I want to use. My normal paragraph, if I click there, is using Times New Roman, but the headings are using a different font, so I might want to change that. And also, did you notice that the spacing automatically changed? So if I change this back to normal, I've got a lot of space afterward, but when I set it to heading 3, the space after is taken away. This space up here is probably mostly coming from the paragraph just before it. So for your thesis, you're probably going to want to add some spacing after and some spacing. So for your thesis, you'll probably want to add some space after and increase the space before as well. And remember, you can go back in to modify it if you find it doesn't look right. So it's helpful to see some text already and then just be able to make the adjustments. So I'll just start with heading 1, and I'll go over to the sidebar here and choose Modify Style. So heading 1, I'm going to go in here and change the font. I've used this before, so I'll just change it to Times New Roman, and I'll change the color to black. Now for my paragraph settings, I'll need to go into that Format button and bring up the paragraph window. Now, a lot of people will want their first level heading to be centered, so you can easily do that, of course. And then if you look here, we've got a lot of space before but no space after, and that means you've got this empty space right here before your chapter heading. It is your call. It does mean that that has pushed it a little bit down the page. I'll see what happens when I take that away, and I'm going to put in some space after this just to give it a lot of room on the page. And then I'll click OK and OK again. And there is my new look heading 1. I'll do the same kinds of things for levels 2 and 3. Now you may want to go in here not only changing the font face, but you might also want to change the font size. Some people will even go in and make something like this bold so that it just stands out a little bit better. And back into my paragraph settings, I really do need kind of a bit of space here. I'll just see what that looks like. It may be that I've got almost too much after that heading. We'll just play with that though and see what happens. And I'll change this as well. I forgot to set that to black. And one more, heading 3. Now a lot of the time you won't see every single font size, but you can often just type it in. And I'll go in here again and change the spacing. Okay, so that's how mine looks. Now you may want to change yours to something different. You might want to make this a bigger size font, but I feel that for this looks okay. I've got the right amount of space before and after, but if I want more space, remember I'm not going to go do this because I'll have to do that all over the place. Instead, I'm going to direct my attention over to the style and make the change inside of it. Okay, that concludes this tutorial video on applying and modifying heading styles. Thanks for your attention. Kia ora.